Hello everybody, and welcome back to Age of Mythology Extended Edition. My name is Bloodbath169, and welcome back to Part 5 of Age of Mythology. In our last episode, we continued with the Atlantean and the Greeks' siege of Troy. In episode 3, Arkantos finally arrived to the siege of Troy, and of course in episode 4, our allies and ourselves prepared to lay siege to the mighty gate. In today's episode, the Trojans counterattack and Ajax is surrounded. Arkantos must free him and regain control of the battlefield. Part 5, just enough rope.
Odysseus, we must rescue them.
Well, let's get to it.
We'll have to abandon the gate. We have no choice. We must rescue Ajax. Hold on, Ajax. My hoplites are on their way. I need some help over here.
Nope.
Thank you. Let's regroup at your camp, Ajax.
Alright, let's get going over here.
Eyes.
Okay, so it looks like we have an ideal blocking point right here. That's good to know. Build up a stronger army and destroy all the buildings in the Trojan forward military base area. Okay. Well, we got Ajax, so let's add him to the army. We don't have any idle villagers at this time. We have a whole 2 villagers, and we're already in the heroic age. Okay, 2 on food, 3 on wood, and 2 on gold. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and do Zeus 4. So, like normal, we're going to go ahead, first of all, we're going to gather all the hogs that we have and bring them over to the town center because the slaughtering is already going on there. Now we got a caravan coming down here. Okay, so we already have gold production. We have more pigs. Okay, cool. All of you can go over here. Actually, all of you can go to the granary down here. And once these guys have finished building out, we'll go ahead and do that. And while that's going, let's go ahead and recon up here. So we've got a rocky pass and a good blocking point right here. Okay. Let's check up here. Big gold mine. That's good to have. Okay, so we have a back area into the base right here, so we'd have to close that off. Let's double check, make sure, but I think this looks like it's going to go clear around to our base, and we definitely do not want, just like that, we do not want them having backdoor access to our base. That is what's referred to nicely as a no-go. Yes, that is a back door. Okay. So we need a gate here, 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 and here, or across here, right here. I'm thinking right here for starters. Okay, so we can't do any more until we get some more of these villagers. We can go ahead and do the plow, because we're not going to be, farms are going to be our primary. This army needs to stay over here, not be running off after every moron who comes in their area. Okay, let him go. He's not a danger, per se. We want 3 more, and that'll round out our wood area, which we'll go ahead and upgrade that to. Actually, no, we won't. We will not upgrade wood just yet. We'll upgrade irrigation, which will upgrade our food first. Let's focus on one thing at a time this time around. So we've got constant gold coming in, and it's good that we already have a market, because we can start establishing, you know, we can, when we have the extra food, we can go ahead and establish all the way over here. And establish, how many is that per time? I'll have to wait till he picks up another load. Okay. There's our 3 villagers. You guys go ahead and start cutting wood. And then we need 4, and they will go straight to the gold mine. Oop, if I don't Twitch click. And then of course we'll need 6 more, because our next step is to start walling things off. Let's actually go ahead and upgrade our towers to watchtowers. That way they're actually useful for something other than opening our eyes to the area, immediate area that is. So let's see, as far as the enemy goes, here's where we were assaulting, and this we could come up here and destroy. Oh no, we couldn't. There's a rock fall in the way now. Can be destroyed theoretically. Oh, we have an attack coming in. There's 10 population. Not the end of the world. Since our population control is right down there, let's put our army right in here. We just lost 10, we cannot replace that, so let's protect what we do have. Okay, these guys are fully developed, so let's do 6 more. This has got another 2,000 gold. We've got plenty of forests in the area, so that's not a concern. But we want to get this area walled off about as fast as we can. Walled off and blocked off, that is to say. We could put a harbor if there's any fish, but I'm not going to worry about it. It's not really worth the investment in wood that it would cost. But we've got half our troop here, so let's go ahead and have these guys build our wall blocking this area.
Try to build stables close to the front.
They may. And it may not matter if I just keep the area secure. Like so. Let's go ahead and upgrade these to stone walls. And these guys can go ahead and build. We have all 6? We do have all 6. There's control group 2. And we want want to go ahead and put towers to reinforce this section of the wall. Okay, next up, let's do our wall right here. Okay, now that's done, so we want a tower here and here. Okay, let's send them over here. Or I'm sure they totally will not get attacked. Let's move our army over here too while we're at it. This area should not need a gate, but we will put one there. Our gate. And our final wall. Get in. Now you folks have got some work to do. You are going to move on down to here. My army can get back here in the middle. There's no sense in them being exposed. Okay. Now this area is highlighted. Let's go ahead and start building our houses to expand our pop cap. As many as they will let us do, and that's all she wrote. Alright. Now you 8 can come over here, put a storehouse down, and then work on gold. Okay. So what all do we need, you might ask? Well, let's start with a temple. I'm going to try to keep these buildings a little bit separated. We then want an armory. Military academy. Archery range. And I'm not going to worry about cavalry for the time being, but we will worry about a fortress. Now that fortress is going to go right here. And that should be all of our buildings. So once they go idle, we're ready to go move on. Infrastructure and any strategy game, the first thing you've got to do in any game, especially a strategy game, is you have to get your economy moving. And you have to get it stabilized, because without an economy, you can't do jack diddly squat. Everything costs resources. Everything costs resources. And if you don't have the resources to use, you're up a creek without a paddle. So, getting that established quickly is always a priority. Under attack. Yep, you're right. I didn't put walls or towers over here, did I? Oh, that's my own idiot fault. But there is a solution, I'm here to say. Tower here, and here, and here, and here. Upgrade our walls. What is that? That guy, Ulysses, Odysseus, whatever your name is. You with the face and the eyes and the ears and the nose and the mouth. Get with the program. Okay, well I can't do any of the temple upgrades just yet. Let's go ahead and do it. Pegasus though. Pegasus, since it's one, not plural. There. And we'll once y'all are done with that, you can get there and go and do them there worshipping, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Well, we're going to take our scout here and we're going to go look around. Something over here, what is that? Increases movement to the Kithra of Apollo. Hey, Odysseus. Come and get that and put it in the temple. Okay. Okay, Troy is now in the heroic age. That tower's going to take down her Pegasus, I bet. Yep. That's alright, let's do another. And then we'll do the Labyrinth of Minos to make these bull minotaurs. Olympic parentage, and actually, let's see. Okay, I think I already read this one before. Okay. Olympic parentage. What's the lore behind this? Excuse me. Many Greek heroes were half-mortal children of the Olympians, the Greek gods. Zeus was the most notorious philanderer in the Greek pantheon and sired many of the gods themselves. And some of the most famous heroes of Greek mythology, Heracles, Perseus, and the twin Argonauts Castor and Pollux. These heroes accomplished amazing tasks because of their divine heritage, but often faced divine wrath when the gods fought amongst themselves, as they often did, striking out at the children of their enemies. The blood of Zeus causes heroes to have more hit points. Okay. Clearly we have access to Hydra, so that tells us that they chose Dionysius for us. And Dionysius gives us Bacchanalia. As the god of wine, Dionysius' festivals with his followers were full of joy and celebration. However, there was a darker side to these events as well. Dionysius was also representative of untamed natural forces, and in a drunken, wild state, Dionysius' followers would be driven to bloody deeds and killed with their bare hands. Bacchanalia. Dionysius improves hit points of all units by a small amount. Good deal. Everybody go over here. And we did get that in there. Okay. Let's go ahead and heal our troops here. Oh, the trouble eye. Lost a hoplite. So it looks like we're going to have to keep an eye out for these guys. Well, let's actually bring our army over here and take out this stable. Okay, and we have another thing. Pandora's Box unleashes evil upon the world by making your myth units train faster. Okay. So we will gather that, just not right this second. So let's explore up here, see what's up here. And follow this line over here. And let's go ahead and go up there and swoop back down over here. I highly doubt our Pegasus will survive this long, or survive long enough to find all of that, but every little bit helps, and he's a cheap scout to begin with. Okay, you guys are apparently hard of hearing or dumb, one of the two. Okay, so we're worshipping Zeus. Troy's primary god is Poseidon. That's interesting, considering we're supposed to be here for Poseidon. Poseidon's will and all that good stuff. Okay, so when Poseidon's structures are destroyed, they spawn Militia. Okay, you go grab that and stick that in the temple. Yep, thought so. There's a thing up there. We got farms over here. We can reduce how many troops they send if we go take those farms or kill the people in them. You didn't listen to what I just said, did you? Go grab that, put it in the temple, then go there. Okay, where's our troops? Okay, they're over here. Town center was actually first on mine, so let's do their technologies there. Masons and fortified town centers. How are we doing on gold? Not shabby. Let's go ahead and do our 4 additional donkey caravans over there. How many hoplites do we have? We've got 3. While we're at it, let's actually change. I'm going to change my mind. Let's actually go ahead and do a stable over here. You guys need to go ahead and do a stockpile right here. And then you need to focus on that. You're walking too far between loads. You guys need to do that, and then go worship. Okay, so I said how many? I said we had 3, so let's do 7. And we'll do 10 archers. And 10 Hippicons. Oh, no, come on. We don't need 10 Hippicons. How many do we need? We need 4. Okay, and we're back. So we just fought off an attack, and I'm following this line. I'm just kind of working my way down the list of each building and working on some improvements. We have these folks repairing the wall that was just damaged. So, onward and upward. Everybody go back to worship. Alright. What else? Well, let's go ahead. We don't need to worry about that. This is mostly done. So, next up was going to be armory. That's right. So, copper weapons. Raw copper was the first metal utilized by man because it was occasionally found in relatively raw state on the Earth's surface. It had a relatively low melting point and could be worked and hammered into useful shapes. When humans discovered how to melt it and mold it, they were able to make the first cast metal objects. Most important of these were knives for work and war. Copper weapons were superior to stone weapons in almost every way, but especially in being less fragile. That is true. Anything different for this? As the first available metal, copper was used to emboss wooden shields. Copper not only improved the strength of the shield, but also provided a great aesthetic appeal. Copper on shields disappeared quickly when the new technology of bronze was discovered and existing copper was consumed to make the stronger new metal. Okay. And that also gives us access to the Sarissa and the Aegis shield. I've read both those entries in the past. Okay, are you guys done building? You are. Are you guys done building? You will be, and you guys are done building also. So there's all our troops. Add those to the troops, and we're good there. Alright. Now we're going to save the bronzing power until later. Ooh, bronze weapons, okay. And there is no lore for bronze weapons, apparently. That's disappointing. I love games that are just full of lore. Any game that can build a good backstory for me is a win-win. Fallout is one of those games that's extensive in how much lore is actually in the series. Civilopedia has a crap ton of lore also, but I could literally sit here and read nothing but the Civilopedia entries on history and everything else all day, every day. And we'd never get to the game. So there's too much lore to cover in Civilization. And it's not so much lore per se, it's more historical stuff. Alright, now as I promised, we're going to come over here and we're going to kill off their civilians that are over here doing food production. Now, there's a tower.
Talos, what is this? Troy is attempting to farm outside her walls?
No need for this to be here.
We can steal these farms, build a granary here, and get some of our villagers farming them.
Yeah, I don't need that, Ajax. Nice suggestion, though. Okay, so we got some troops coming. Okay. So we're going to actually suck back behind the lines and replenish our losses. We lost a hoplite and 4 archers. Okay, where are we next on development? We had armory that we're still working on. Armory's done. Okay. Guard tower. Signal fires. Long before the advent of the telegraph and radio, the ancients developed methods for rapid communication over distance. Using fires, flags, and banners, signal positions were placed within visual contact of each other in a chain, and simple messages could be rapidly transmitted across large distances. A defensive wall could be manned lightly, while mobile reserves were kept concentrated at regular intervals. Signals could bring warnings quickly, allowing the central reserve to move to a threatened position. Okay. Then we've got guard tower. Improved towers or other fortifications might be placed at vital points like river crossings or mountain passes where enemies would be forced to pass. The garrison of the guard tower was expected to fight and defend the fortification until help could arrive, as well as warn commanders of encroachments. Because such a fortification was usually placed at a vital position, an enemy could not afford to pass it by, leaving their retreat path blocked. Okay, and that's scheduled. Crenellations. Most range attacks, including buildings, can hit stationary targets better than mobile targets. This fact makes cavalry particularly resistant to buildings as they already have high pierce armor. This improvement allows your buildings to strike moving targets, including flying scouts or other flying units. Shortly after the development of stone walls, ancient architects figured out the utility of piercing defensive walls with arrow slits and crowning the walkways on top of the walls with crenellations that could protect an archer while still allowing them a wide field of view. The citadel of Buhin was adorned with hundreds of curved crenellations that were typical of Egyptian walls. Okay, and boiling oil. Enemies gathered at the base of a defensive wall would normally be attacked only if defenders leaned out from the wall and otherwise exposed themselves to arrows fired from below. One improvement for wall defenses was to provide boiling oil or other substances that could be poured on attackers below. Oil was particularly devastating if it could be set on fire first. This had the double effect of driving attackers away and burning their siege equipment. Alright, so watchtowers will be fully upgraded. We got some kind of force over here. Nope, wrong people. I just ordered my civilians to go and attack. Not my brightest move. I saw you. Where'd you go? Up here, probably. Didn't replace the fortress, that's something. Well, they're not down here. Wherever they were, they're not down here now. There they are.
Talos.
Okay, here comes our next attack. While we're working on that, we can also go ahead and do carrier pigeons. Does that pause? It sure does. Carrier pigeons. In addition to signal fires and other visual signals, the use of carrier pigeons was an improvement that allowed messages to be carried quickly for many miles across any type of terrain. Commanders at a central position could be kept informed of events at the frontier by regular bird post. Now, interestingly enough, carrier pigeons were an actual species, and they have since gone extinct. Mostly because they're too valuable a resource for your enemy at the time. So they got killed en masse. Levy Infantry. There's lore there. Levy Infantry. Where a population had a large percentage of non-slaves, the government usually made provision to mobilize the free men for military service. Citizens always available on standby in emergencies were called the levy. The ruler could call out the levy under certain conditions, but especially if enemies were approaching. The levy was a formal understanding and obligation roughly equivalent to a tax or mandatory public service. Greek freemen, for example, from early adulthood to their 60s were expected to serve in their town's phalanx, a local variation of the levy. And we'll do Levy Cavalry and Thracian horses from Dionysius. When Dionysius was young and wandered earth as a mortal, his growing cult was opposed by King Lycurgus of Thrace. Dionysius drove Lycurgus mad so that he chopped up his own son with an axe, believing he was pruning a vine. Eventually, his own subjects caused Lycurgus to be torn to pieces by wild horses. Carnivorous Thracian horses. That improves cavalry hit points. Fortress is the last bastion there. Draft horses. Beasts of burden such as horses, oxen, and mules improve the productivity of humans in any activity requiring carrying or pulling. A single man could drive a team of horses or oxen, which in turn could pull hundreds of times the mass the man could. This proved true in combat as well. Teams of horses could move siege equipment into place much faster than even very large teams of men. Okay, so we're going to actually go ahead and we're going to do Hephaestus. I can't do anything there, but we have some technology here we can look at. Because we get access to the Colossus. I think I've already read the lore for Colossus himself, but we'll go ahead and read out the lore for the improvements as well. You don't need to let my myth units get a meal. I mean, come on. You're not taking food out of your mouth. Okay, so once we've advanced and we have Hephaestus, then we'll do some lore reading and get all our technology squared away, get our final units made. That's interesting that you're not going after him. You killed a Minotaur. Oh no! It'd be a real tragedy if somebody were to return the favor. Okay, Mythic Age. We're going to go ahead and plant our Plenty Vault. And what that does, it is a wondrous mythical vault that grants a constant flow of food, wood, and gold. Okay, so we have constant resources constantly coming in. We need carry. I could have sworn I already did that. Okay, what all do we have here? We can go ahead and do flood control. Flood control. The availability of water from river valleys was critical to the rise of many great early civilizations, but rivers also presented dangers. For example, flooding was nearly annual event in Egypt that could cause widespread destruction. The ancients improved their engineering and learned to control flooding, or at least minimize its negative effects. Levees could keep the river within its banks in some places while encouraging it to flood in others. A river that flooded under controlled conditions would deposit nutrient-rich silt onto fields and thus could be harnessed for the benefit of food production. Cool. It's the hand of Talos. One of Zeus's many lovers was a mortal woman named Europa. Some of you who are into space-related stuff will know that that's the name of one of Jupiter's moons. Jupiter, in this case, being the Roman name for Zeus, because why not just come up with your own pantheon, right? In the form of a white bull, Zeus speared her away to the Isle of Crete, where she had 3 sons. Zeus had Hephaestus forge a giant of iron to defend Europa and the island. Talos was powered by a single blood vein that ran from his throat to his ankle. The vein was sealed with a pin at the ankle. Okay, the shoulder of Talos. On the return voyage of Jason and the Argonauts, they needed to stop and resupply in the Isle of Crete. But the sorceress Medea warned them of Talos. When Talos appeared and then began to throw rocks at the Argo, Medea played her lyre to coax him to sleep. She then pulled out the bronze pin that held in his blood, and the giant collapsed. Jason and his men could then collect food and water before continuing their voyage. Kind of a douche move, if I do say so myself. Oh, he's in my way. I guess I better kill him. Burning pitch. While arrows were already deadly in combat, well-equipped armies could coat their arrowheads or even siege projectiles in burning pitch made from tar or tree sap in order to cause extra damage and ignite the unfortunate victim, ship, or building targeted. Okay. Weapons of the Titans. That's interesting. The Titans created and ruled the earth before their children, the Olympians, overthrew them. They wielded the raw power of the elements: light, earth, time, water, fire. The children of the Titans, the Olympians, wielded fantastic, if more conventional weapons forged by the club-footed god Hephaestus or Cyclops smiths. Okay. This compulsory draft of manpower or conscription was disruptive and unpleasant, and a step not taken lightly. Unless conscripts were well led and highly motivated, they usually performed poorly, but conscription did put soldiers into the field quickly, and this could make the difference in an emergency. True story. One of the great economic improvements of the ancient age was the development of money, which first appeared in Greek Asia Minor as coins made of electrum, a natural alloy of gold and silver. Money acted as a medium of exchange, a storehouse of value, and a standard of value, all of which greatly increased the efficiency of commerce. Without money, all trade was barter, which is greatly inefficient due to the time needed to reach agreement on fair rates of exchange for widely diverse commodities. While early engineers labored to make walls and other fortifications attack-proof for the defender, other engineers were working on the attacker's side to find better ways to attack fortifications. Siege engineers learned to find weaknesses in enemy fortifications, improve the power and effect of siege weapons, and otherwise prepare the way for an eventual assault. Right here, it's just attack.
or heavy myth units from Zeus to wipe it out. Peacefully.
Make a beeline and kill that town center, and let's bronze. Everybody's bronzed. Now that doesn't render them invulnerable, just renders them harder to kill. kill the idiots running around. Let's focus on those that are actually damaging us. Towers. And focus on the fortress. So far we've lost 5 horses, 3 hoplites, all of our archers. We'll stay up here. We got a few hydras, all of them I think, except for this guy, have 3 heads. He's about to get his 3rd head if I'm not much mistaken. There he is. Up to 4 heads? Yeah, he is. He's got 4 heads now. So is he. He's got 5 heads. And that's all she wrote.
We've regained control here at Ajax. Let's rally the men and resume the attack on Troy.
Arkantos, Ajax, Agamemnon has been attacked.
The Trojans must have hit Agamemnon while we were fighting. Pull the men back. We'll meet at the main base camp and see how bad it is.
Okay, so that's going to be all for today, guys. Thank you for joining me for today's episode, and please feel free to like, comment, or subscribe. If you have any feedback, I'd love to hear from you. And every little bit helps. So thank you everybody again, once again, for joining us today, and I will see you guys in the next episode. See ya!